What is going on in Houston, Texas? It is a Monday, man, and it is exactly how I like my Mondays. Not too sunny, not too gloomy, except this morning when I got up for the gym, it was a little bit breezy, but when I got out of the gym, humidity had hit its highest peak. It's Houston for you, and you gotta love it, man. Look, today we're gonna get to a very important topic, and I think it definitely is critical to this NFL season. As you guys know, the NBA will be starting their games at the end of July. And look, the NFL seems to continue to put in protocols in place when it comes to, the COVID. QB Phillip Rivers raised a big question on NFLPA call Friday. He asked if the player test positive for COVID-19 during Super Bowl week and is asymptomatic, would he have no choice but to sit? And it got me thinking about, wait a minute, this season might not even revolve around injuries. This season might just revolve around players not being able to play at critical times because they come positive with the COVID, positive with the Rona, whatever you want to call it. And look, if the coronavirus has not ruined 2020, that'll definitely ruin an NFL season for a team. Can you imagine an offense that basically loses 2-3 wide receivers in the same week, loses their starting quarterback? I mean, as much as A.J. McCarron's highlights were impressive, to say the least, that week 17, do I want A.J. McCarron helping us 2 weeks in a row?
Fuck no.
Even that particular game, man, this definitely makes things interesting, man. And I can't, help to think about if you test early enough, if you test positive early enough, you will never test positive again. I don't really know the details behind that. Can someone truly test positive after they tested positive and come back with negative tests? Can they later on get it again? Usually, I think your body should be able to understand the virus and adapt your body cells to it. But this thing has only gotten crazier and crazier by the minute. Half of it, I think, is BS with some of the theories that have come out of it. And some of it, it seems to be true because, obviously I know certain people that have got it and are either asymptomatic to it. They have no symptoms. And didn't even know they ever had it, except that they went and got a test and they were like, oh yeah, there's some antibodies here for you. So that is interesting, man. Another thing that Tom Pelissero reported was that the media access for 2020 NFL training camp and preseason also will look a lot different. Basically, what's going to happen is there will be no in-person interviews with players, and that goes to make sense. I was trying to get my license here with the Houston Texans earlier this month, and basically it's under review, and I can definitely tell why it's under review because in-person interviews are not going to happen. So that kind of beats the purpose of it when you are wanting to ask the players questions and you are not able to. So that's definitely interesting. Another thing is they gave a chart, and I'll put that here so you guys can really read that. But basically, the NFL last night sent to clubs COVID-19 protocols for the 2020 training camp and preseason, including detailed breakdown of that. You have things from if an individual tests positive, if they're feeling symptoms, they're not able to return. Some of them, based on having no symptoms, can be 10 days before they return. And obviously, you need to have 5 days after you've already been tested positive, and you have to have 2 consecutive negative tests. So that's interesting. Another thing is, for the people that are symptomatic, people that do have symptoms, it's 10 days that need to pass before, since the COVID appeared and the positive test, and then at least 72 hours after the symptoms have basically gone away and they've also tested negative, then they can return and approach a club physician and consult with them and an NFL chief medical officer. Man, this is going to get crazy this season. That is a lot of stipulations. And look, man, look, you can't, like, the fact that they're going to be 53 man, 90 man in a building, they're bound to get positive tests. There's no going around it. Even the NBA has come out and said, look, we already knew this was going to happen. You know, all they can do is just, after they get it, go and basically seclude themselves from anybody until they get over it. Then obviously, whether it's the NBA or the NFL, they have to do their cleaning procedures at, you know, where the player has been around. So that obviously is interesting. Obviously, the Texans are a little bit ahead of the curve because what they've done is they've already hired, you know, what I want to say, cleaning engineers, I would like to call them, to make sure that the building stays clean and, you know, there's not so many positive tests. The other thing, obviously, the NFL has come out and talked about certain fines if players are what they call acting reckless, right? Are they going to the club after a game, going to the strip club? Chase Harden, no, he can't, obviously, because he's going to be in a bubble. But I'm just saying, certain players that have a certain routine, man, it's going to be crazy. And then look, I play sports, so I know how it is. Sometimes you have a certain trend or a certain thing that you do to get yourself prepared during the week for a game, and things are going to have to get adjusted. Some players are not going to be able to do their regular routine and are going to have to adjust, like everyone's been adjusting during this time. So interesting things to come with that in the NFL. I really hope that the Texans stay as clear as possible from COVID. And sorry to be so negative about this, but hopefully none of our star players come down with it. I know some of the players were already reported to have had it. Unfortunately, the source that gave me the information let me know that they chose not to want me to disclose the players. But luckily, it was not Deshaun Watson. I can tell you that. And look, man, all I can really do is just hope for the best when it comes to the Texans themselves. Now, as far as the Chiefs, the Ravens, or whatever, I don't give a damn if they get positive tests and some of their star players don't play. That's just me being selfish. If it helps us win, I don't care. You can fight and argue about it later, talk smack about it later. We know how you guys are. But anyways, man, you know what it is every day, baby. It's H-Town.
In this game, it seems that I'm lyrically reaching a point where it's not fair no more. Hit 'em with that major pain as we shoot and destroy. It's like I'm bringing war to your front door.